Welcome back into series of object-oriented programming. In the previous tutorial, we have discussed about class and object. Now we move ahead. Let's talk about inheritance in object-oriented programming. Inheritance is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming that allows one class to inherit the properties and methods of another class. In simple words, inheritance is a concept in programming where one class, that is child class, can use the properties and methods of another class, that is parent class. Base class, you can call it parent class or superclass. It is a class that provides properties and methods to other classes. It is the parent class from which other classes are derived. Derived class, you can call it child class or subclass. It is a class in which you have to use the properties and methods of the parent class. It can access the parent class's fields and methods, and it can also have its own properties and methods. Code reuse. Instead of writing the same code multiple times, common functionalities can be defined in a base class and shared with derived classes. Maintainability. If a change is needed in a base class, the child classes automatically reflect that change. This makes maintenance easier since you only need to modify the base class. Hierarchical class structure. Inheritance helps establish a clear hierarchical structure between classes. For instance, a base class vehicle can have subclasses like car and motorcycle that share common characteristics but differ in specifics. Extensibility. Inheritance makes it easier to extend the functionality of existing classes by adding new features to derived classes without altering the base class. Polymorphism. With inheritance, polymorphism can be achieved where a single method can have different implementations in different classes, like the speak method for dog and cat. Fields or properties. These are variables that belong to the class. Methods or functions. These are functions defined within the class. Overriding. When a subclass provides its own implementation of a method inherited from the parent class, it is called method overriding. Single inheritance. In this type, a subclass inherits from only one superclass. It is the simplest form of inheritance. For example, you have a car class. You can inherit car class into Tesla class. Multiple inheritance. A class can inherit from more than one base class, while some languages support it. We try to understand an example. If you have two classes, engine and wheels, you can inherit these two classes into car class. Multilevel inheritance. A class is derived from another derived class, creating a chain of inheritance. Let me explain. First, we create main class vehicle. We create new class car and extends it with vehicle class. In the last, we make our car model class Tesla and extends it with car class. Like this, you can make more complex multilevel inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. Multiple subclasses inherit from a single base class. Again, we have a car class. We can create more car model class from car class, like Tesla and BMW. In most OP languages, inheritance is controlled by access specifiers. There are three common types of access modifiers. Public. If fields or methods are declared public in the base class, can be accessed by the derived class. Protected. If fields or methods are declared as protected, are only accessible within the base class, derived class, and classes in the same package or module. Private. If fields or methods are declared private, are not accessible by derived classes directly. Name is accessible by derived classes. Age is accessible by child classes but not by external classes. Type is private and is not accessible by child classes. Overriding occurs when a subclass provides its own implementation of a method that is already defined in its superclass. Overriding allows the subclass to change or enhance the behavior of methods that it inherits from its parent class. We try to understand in an example. Here we create sound method. It will be used in child classes with their own functionalities. We have to use override notation to call the parent class method. In child class, we can use our own functionalities. Now we move ahead to our last topic, constructors and inheritance. Constructors are not inherited. In object-oriented languages like Java, Python, and C#, constructors are not inherited by child classes. Each class must define its own constructor even if it's just a default constructor. Calling parent class constructor. We try to understand constructor in a complete example. Class name is used to create a constructor in Java. Constructor is like a method. We can use parameter as well. If we want to call parent class constructor in child class, we have to use super function. Now we put the values into constructor and see how constructor works. There is no need to call the constructor separately to put the values. In Java or other programming language, we can create an object of a class and call its public methods and public properties. Let me explain to you. We call the person class in the student class constructor and create an object of the student class to hold the student's name and age values. That was all about inheritance. If you liked the video, subscribe the channel and press bell icon. Goodbye.